Hi, it's Carl Brower, and I'm standing next to the 2025 Porsche 718 Boxster GTS 4.0. This is a car that is going away soon, and that's a little depressing because supposedly it's going to come back as an EV. And I'm honestly shocked that Porsche is thinking of doing that because this car is so beloved and they are considered one of the best driver's cars, not just the Boxster, but its coupe twin, the Cayman. They are just two fabulous driver's cars. Unfortunately, you can't buy them for much longer. Porsche is not going to make either the current Boxster or Cayman after the 2025 model year. And instead, we're going to get, apparently, an electric version. This is going to be a tough transition for Porsche because, like Dodge, their fan base loves internal combustion engines. And I love the exhaust note specifically that this horizontally opposed 4-liter 6-cylinder engine makes. And I'm going to miss that and a lot of the other aspects of these cars if they go full EV. We're seeing a lot of different back and forth on the EV likelihood and the transition. Dodge has already turned the corner and gone back toward internal combustion. We're going to see if Porsche maybe reconsiders getting rid of these vehicles in their current form. I hope they do. But for now, I've got one. You can still buy one, not much longer. You better get out there and configure it quickly if you do want one. And this particular version with the 4-liter 6-cylinder engine, it makes 394 horsepower and either 309 pound-feet of torque with the 6-speed manual, which this one has, or 317 pound-feet of torque if it's got the PDK. And it's good for either a 4.3 second 0 to 60 time with the manual or a 3.8 second 0 to 60 time with the PDK. Of course, it's faster. And the same thing in the quarter mile. It gets there at about 12 seconds with the PDK, but it slows down to about 12.4 with the manual. As always in modern day technology, the manuals are a little slower. And how many of us don't care? We still want the manual, even though they're theoretically inferior performance-wise. It's also got a great curb weight. These things weigh right around 3,200 pounds. And that's so important. So it's still light. It doesn't have the power steering system I would like, but just driving it to this location for the start of the shoot, I already could tell, as always, Porsche still has their steering feel pretty well dialed in, even without hydraulics being the system. We're gonna get in it, we're gonna drive it, and we're gonna experience it. Let's go. Before we take off in this vehicle, let's remind ourselves one of the reasons we love mid-engine cars like the Boxster. It's got two storage areas, the frunk and the trunk. And the frunk has 5.3 cubic feet of storage. So if you have, say, a big equipment bag for shooting videos of cars, it's not even close. Goes in, no sweat. And if that's still not enough space, you've got the trunk, which has 4.4 more cubic feet. That's a total of 9.7 cubic feet of storage space in this vehicle. That's pretty good for a 2-seat roadster. All of these Porsche Boxster GTS models have 20-inch wheels. On the rear, they're 10 inches wide and they're 265/35 Pirelli P0s. Up front, they're only 8.5 inches wide and they're 235/35 Pirelli P0s. Sitting in the Boxster GTS, you see the traditional 3-pod Porsche design with the big center tachometer. Nice GTS emblems right there to tell you what you're driving. But you've also got speedometer on the left, and now, of course, the digital pod on the right that gives you a wide range of information. And you fire it up, you get to hear your cool horizontally opposed 6-cylinder engine. And if you want to change driver modes, you've got this little knob here on the steering wheel, and you flip it around, and you get to see those changes in that right digital pod. And of course, you get the exhaust change when you put it in Sport Plus. But you can also use this right spokes kind of wheel right here. And if you start to turn that, you're going to see changes also in that digital gauge cluster, torque curves, G-forces, gear shift assist. The chrono package should be telling you your tire pressure monitoring. It's still figuring that out. The driver information, I like how good the map looks in here, and of course audio information. So plenty of options of information in this Porsche GTS. You can buy the Cayman version of this vehicle and then you get a fixed roof. But if you want the top to go down, you get the 718 Boxster like this one. And it will go down in about 9 seconds and it will operate at up to 31 miles per hour. I love the red interior with the silver exterior, love that color combo. And I also like Porsche's approach with the center stack controls, which they've had for a few generations now. You've got things obviously like your top down, top up, your auto stop start, your exhaust note control, your rear spoiler control, traction and stability control, and suspension settings. But you've also got above the very cool 6-speed shifter that we all love in a Porsche. The climate controls, things like your seat heat and ventilation and your auto control, your fan speed. And then you've got this 7-inch touchscreen right here, and it's pretty high quality. And you can see plenty of screens from pure map to your tuner, your phone, car adjustments, and it's pretty easy to use. You've got both controls and touchscreen that you can play with. Really a very effective and user-friendly control system. All right, enough talk. It's time to drive this thing. When you're designing a sports car, you gotta have all these things work together. The ultimate driver's car has to have steering and brakes and suspension and of course the shifter. They all have to talk to each other and they all have to integrate. And with this car's electric assist steering, I tend to be a little skeptical, but Porsche, as is Porsche's behavior and skill set, they've made this steering pretty good as electric steering goes. It is very intuitive and progressive, and it does have, at least simulated by computer code, good feel. And that combined with this beautiful 6-speed shifter and very confident brakes, they combine to, well, make this car one of the best driver's cars you can buy right now. And when you're on a road like this, that's exactly what you want. If you get the 718 Boxster in GTS trim like this one, there's all these cool exterior design elements to clue you in. It's a black theme, like the air intakes and the tailpipes, and of course the GTS 4.0 painted black on the outside, the tail lights. Consistent theme that makes sure everyone knows you're driving the GTS model. While the base Boxster's interior materials may not be as high quality as you'd think they should be for $77,000, once you get to the GTS level, they're really nice. This car's got leather everywhere, and it does include the embroidered headrest and these Sport Seat Plus. They're very comfortable, but they also hold you in place very well. It all goes along with the high performance GTS theme that this trim is known for. Beyond the horsepower upgrades you get with this naturally aspirated 6-cylinder, the GTS also gets Porsche Active Suspension Management technology standard, and it sits 0.78 inches lower than the standard 718 Boxster. And it's funny because I've been moving it around, trying to get locations to shoot it, and you gotta be careful because it doesn't have a lot of clearance. I could almost justify a front-end lift on this car like exotic cars have. I don't know if Porsche offers that, but they should, because this thing sits very low. The final component for the GTS is that you get these 6-piston at the front, 4-piston at the rear, monoblock calipers, and they're squeezing 13.8-inch rotors in front and 13-inch rotors in the back. It's really that combination of the braking confidence, the suspension confidence, and of course, that wide torque band that you're getting with that naturally aspirated engine that makes the car so much fun on roads like this. When you're driving on a road like this, in a car that's kind of like almost the super Miata, that's what I think of the Porsche Boxster, especially in this GTS form. It's like a super Miata, because the Miata is an awfully fun car on a twisty, tight road like this. And the Boxster is even more fun. You know, it's the mechanical symmetry and seamlessness that makes this car so beautiful. Even before you're driving aggressively on a twisty road, the clutch engagement, the steering feel, the throttle response, all these things, even at low speeds, you can tell the precision that was done on the engineering for this vehicle. Of course, then all you really want to do is go fast because it feels so good even going slow. This is really where a car like this shines, and you realize that you don't need a lot of horsepower. This car doesn't even make 400 horsepower, but it also only weighs 3,200 pounds, and it's got that ideal balance of steering, braking, suspension tuning, and a fabulously engaging 6-speed shifter. And ultimately, that's what you want, more than brute horsepower. Yes, indeed. A little bit of rotation for you. Woohoo! You can get a 2025 Porsche Boxster for as little as $77,000. This GTS 4.0 that we're driving is around $104,000 base. But this one, with the adaptive sport seats and that cool red Bordeaux leather interior, plus PCM navigation, all that makes this one about $121,000 with several really cool options. It may sound like a lot, but there's really nothing else that competes with a car like this. The lightweight, the 3,200 pound curb weight, the exceptional transmission, steering, and brakes, the mid-engine balance that you get. It's a driver's car. They're rapidly vanishing, it seems like. There's less every year. And now this one's vanishing this year. If you want one, get out and order it quickly. And if you don't be depressed when there's no more driver's cars, because this is one of the last ones and it's going away. Now I have to say, after several days in this vehicle, it's very tempting to contact Porsche and say, how quickly can I order one of these? How much time do I have left? How many levers can I pull financially and get one of these on order before it's too late?